streaming now. Excited to have you with me, Bob and Shannon. Thank you for being here. It is a wonderful gift. You two are just an amazing powerhouse team, and I'm so excited to introduce you. And to first introduce our Freedom Friday, we've been doing Freedom Friday for a long time, and we're expanding to go live on YouTube now. And you, as I shared with us, you get to be the guinea pig in all aspects of it, and yet you're so powerful. I had no concerns. So both of you are amazing, and I want to thank you for being here. We have a brand new date for the Trailblazer Summit that you're going to be part of it, but I want to get people to get to know you first. So tell me about your journey to where the light gets in, I believe is how you're calling it.
Yes.
Wow. Well, thank you. It's good to be here, and thank you for throwing a zinger at us on the first question. Hey, why waste your time, dawdling around? Just go right for it. I mean, where it started was a lyric from one of the songs, and it's probably not an original thought, but it's Leonard Cohen has said it, Rumi has said it, many poets said it that the wound is where the light enters you. And so in the song "No Mud, No Lotus," there's a line that said, "The wound is where the light gets in." And we've been through a long process of as a couple, as a working together, as just trying to define all of that, which many couples can't figure one thing out, and we're figuring it all out because
I can't relate.
Yeah, you have no idea what that means. So. So I think that statement where the wound is where the light gets in is that we're the music and all of the other work that we do, the work that Shannon does, the individual healing work that she does, and the group work that we do with people is really just flat out really the main purpose of it is to allow people to do the inner work and allow that light to get in, because if you open yourself up, if you're vulnerable to life, it will let itself in, and it's light that's coming in. The only thing you're blocking is the energy that wants to come to you. So that's probably the best way I can describe it on the fly with no preparation at all.
It was so fun. I remember asking you, and Bob and Shannon, you're just a gift. And Shannon, I'm excited to hear your addition to that. The gift is we know that we will naturally flow. And so, like I said, we wholeheartedly believe authenticity is so powerful. And so, Shannon, your turn.
Well, I want to add a little bit because Bob introduced himself by saying it came from a lyric, but it was a lyric from his song. He is the songwriter. You didn't even say that about yourself.
Well, I draw this very scratchy gray line. I just think it's our music. I mean, I create the songs, but they come from a container that Shannon creates by giving me the space to do it, and she energetically is in these songs, and it's really she's in the DNA of these songs. So I call it our music, and
that's so powerful.
It's not. It's like because I've spent many years being non-exclusive or exclusive to it, and there's another song called "Together We Rise." We can get into that, but and I don't mean to step on your time to talk, but it's really it is our music, and people say, tell me about you Bob. It's like, well, no, let me tell you about what we do, because it's and that was our journey is going from trying to be that lone wolf and blocking out all the love that she was trying to give me and kind of pushing it away, and then we had a big fall, and then we came back together. So that's
there's a whole story there. Right?
The wound is where the light gets in.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was perfect. So what else would you love to add to that, Miss Shannon?
Oh, well, it is a collective offering. So I always describe what we do as, the music can reach the masses. Everybody's willing to, even if they're not familiar with the musician and their friends are like, hey, come out to a concert with me. You're like, yeah, I can deal with that. I can get through a concert, even if I'm not, moved or, extremely excited about the songs themselves, right? So I always describe the music as getting to the masses. And
Mm.
then because of the lyrics and the messages that come through the music, it lends itself well to going a little deeper, maybe singing it a little differently in a more contemplative way, slower. So then we can weave that into a meditative experience, and maybe we'll add some poetry to it, or I'll do a little journey, a guided meditation or something, and using the songs to complement whatever theme or topic we're doing that meditation around. And then we go a little step further and say, oh, well, if you like that and you want to go a little deeper, we have some workshops that we offer. We teach breath work, which has, I know, changed both of our lives. It's a powerful tool. We call it practical breath work because, at least for me to repeat something every day, it's got to be practical. Like, it's got to make sense to me. So we teach breath work. We have a workshop that goes through the energy centers of the body. We have a workshop that brings in the medicine wheel and the energy of the four directions and the archetypes that come along with those things. And we have creativity workshops. So all of those different things then lead into, well, you want to do a few hour workshop. Well, I want to go deeper. Okay, well then come on a retreat with us. We have a retreat that we call Boldly Going Nowhere, because it's about the now here. Nowhere is now here. And that's where we go. We create a weekend of experiential exercises, activities. We weave all the little parts and pieces of everything that we do. Mm-hmm. And then for those that want to dive into that stuff that bubbles up to the surface, it says, "Hey, I'm ready to be addressed. You forgot about me," and kind of knocking on our head or knocking on our heart more appropriately. I'm up here now. What are you going to do with me? I then go into one-on-one work with people, not just from a coaching standpoint as a life coach, but I also bring in a healing component. And I've studied with 3 different Peruvian shamans, as we would call them in collective jargon, if you will. And so as a shamanic practitioner, I bring that piece so that when something comes up and there's a block or a patterning of behaviors of our lives, we get back to the source and we do some energetic releases and making sure that at the energetic, at that soul level, that all of that is cleared. I don't want to say cleared. That's never the right word. That's how we think of it. But all of that is kind of put back into harmony in an energetic way. So collectively, it's hard to compartmentalize what we offer individually. But I do like to call out Bob, because he does write the songs. I mean, I have nothing to do with that process.
Well, I would agree with Bob, and I would tell you have so much to do with that process. And yet, and I love the way Bob said it, in the coaching space, our opportunity as coaches is to be able to provide that safe space, that opportunity to provide. And I loved it. You use another terminology, Bob, of that container. And it just made me think of the world as a container. That's just a whole nother story we're not going to touch today. And yet, the gift that we get to do, and this is the gift that I'm really excited to partner with you on as we move into the summit, which we're going to be doing in next year. We were scheduled to do it this year. Life has happened, and we all decided that it would be best to move to next year. And we have moved that, and it is called Led by Love, Guide Your Passion. It is our annual summit. We've been doing this summit a lot of years. This is your first year with us, which we're very thankful to have. Although we've been crossing paths for many years now. And it's been a great joy to just watch your journey unfold. And we're really excited about what we get to co-create. And it's ironic, something you also said, we have a terminology in some of the material I use called our natural genius. And that's what we spoke on last year, is how you discover that natural genius and align with that energy, align with that. Our thought patterns were designed to be in alignment. And life has happened and has brought us out of alignment, and it pulls us away from that natural passion, that natural core, that natural joy that we all want to experience. And some people do get to experience it for seasons, and yet they don't know how to integrate it into the rest of their life. Right. And so one of the gifts that we want to do in our annual summits is really help bring together a community of people that want to live from that inside out and really expose the journey that they get to take on that way there. I mean, literally in the middle of writing my first book, and I'm literally walking through that whole process of explaining that. And that should be ready. If everything goes as planned, it'll be ready to release by September this year. And so it'll be a whole journey to get us to that event. Yet I really wanted to have you with us today for, first of all, just to celebrate the journey y'all been on and what is important to you. And then I'd love to ask you one of the other questions I'd love to ask in the summit. What do you think has been is the idea that you really want to bring and share with the community in this in what we've talked about so far? Because we're still developing the agenda and all the pieces of it, and we both accept the free flow part of that agenda as well. Right. And yeah, we also know, and I teach that there has to be, and there gets to be a little bit of structure to it, right? Mm-hmm. So what comes up for you? What would you like to share about that?
Well, I mean, I think the main thing that we bring to an event such as yours is the ability to amplify. So the things that are being discussed at the event, whether it's somebody in the group gets up and holds the microphone and shares something because something that you taught or one of the other speakers presents, and it strikes a chord in that person, that strikes a chord in the whole room. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to amplify. So if it's our turn to get up next, that's what we're going to amplify. We're not going to go, well, we said we were going to do that song after that, and man, I really like to do that other song because it really fit what that guy just said, and I think everybody in the room just went, so we have so much material, so many songs, and other workshops and everything that I don't know the details of how we're going to be.
We're getting into those details,
yeah, right, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But I think what we bring is the amplification of the themes and the energy. Really, it's an energetic. You can feel it. Somebody gets up and does a talk, and you can just feel the electricity. And we want to amplify that because there's only so much you can do with the spoken word. I mean, there's a lot you can do. Tell Tony Robbins that. I mean, he can move a mountain with his words, but music can amplify it in a way that not many other things can. And it's so that's our job, really. I think is we are the amplifiers of the messages and the energies and the collective experiences coming out, or even something that we're tuned in that maybe people missed because we were pretty tuned into things, so we might highlight something that maybe people didn't get and that we think would be useful. So
I love it, and I know Shannon's got something to add, and I really want to comment on something you just said. And you both use the word collective, right? In a community, we get to bring people together, and we love that. I mean, we met in a community, and the gentleman that introduced us is going to be with us on this weekend, and he'll be on Freedom Friday with us next week. And it's just a gift to bring collective, like-minded leaders that really want to own their opportunity to lead. And their opportunity to lead themselves first, because that's a whole nother arena to begin with, right? Mm-hmm. And then to be able to impact and influence others. And I love the amplification was a perfect word for what I've seen you do, what I've experienced you do, and just the gift of what I knew you would bring to the community and how we get to mold that into our future opportunities. I think just so powerful. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to align with that conversation. So Shannon, what else would you love to add to that?
Well, I would like to vamp a little bit off of the passion part. Please. So my coaching and shamanic healing business is actually called Speak My Passion. Mm-hmm. And I chose that kind of in a catchy kind of way because that's my initials, SMP. Mm-hmm. But for me, especially diving more with some of my teachers from the Andean philosophies, we choose our our next step, our way forward when we know what we're passionate about, right? It's like when we feel it, like when we can feel it in our bodies and we can drop into knowing the parts and pieces that are important, our priorities, what, we can see the vision, it just solidifies in us. And then we can take that next step. Oftentimes we find ourselves taking a step and we're like, whoa, now I know what I don't want, right? It's the reverse order. Now I know what I don't want, and now I know what is important to me, even though I didn't know it before. And so then we have to modify, right? And then we have to go and really kind of go into that more of that discernment. So for me, it's like, what is that vision, and how does that create the language that we're putting around it, not just in our heads and not just what we're imagining and bringing into like a vision field, but how we're putting that into words and telling ourselves about it and telling other people about it. Because once we start giving that energy, we can then start to feel it in our body. That's when we start getting all tingly and getting excited and getting goosebumps and all that fun stuff. And then we know. So for me, the passion piece is so critical, because that means that when we're feeling that, before we then take action, we're coming from an intentional, loving, clear space as we're taking that step. So even if it ends up being what we would say wrong, we're so crystal clear that we can adjust faster and we can adjust more efficiently, and it doesn't throw us back 10 steps.
I love the crystal clear and the journey that you just went on to share all that. The terminology I love to use is agape love, and the ability to come from that core space in a world of challenges of diversity, and learning how to grow in diversity, and learning how to meet each other in agape love, and learning how to step in another person's world and be able to meet them in that world, and then be able to bridge a gap, because we all have different worlds and we all meet in different worlds. And I get to be a gift and help people learn how to bridge that gap and learn how to meet in the middle, respecting each other, loving each other, and honoring each other. And we are in a season for that, right?
Absolutely.
So, the joy, we were already preparing long before, knowing the need, right? And now there's just a awareness that is developing at such an increased level that we get an opportunity to really help them narrow in and uncover and discover how to be purposeful and proactive about that crystal clear vision. I love the way you said that. So thank you for that.
Well, and that feeds into the collective, right? That's all back to the collective. Why do we gather in groups and do this work? Because when one person shifts and has some sort of revelation, aha moment, awareness, remembrance, whatever we want to call it, energetically, when we're in that space together, we all feel it. We all get something from it, right? So that just feeds into that collective, why are we in the situation that we're in right now in the world? There's a collective consciousness that's running around too. So like, what a call for us to stand up and say, like, this is what I'm about. And
Right.
it's an invitation, a very strong RSVP tomorrow.
Right? Literally. And we invite you to do that, by the way. So we really are encouraging everyone to come join us. We put everything up on the websites, etc., for the future, to get everybody involved in planning it out, and we can work with them in the strategies, etc., because this is our first real depth of an event, and we really want them to experience where we're headed and be building that community with us, because I think that's really so powerful of where we're headed. I love that collective aspect. The fun question I've started to add to my live, and I'm attempting to stay in our time schedule. So, and then give you an opportunity for a song, because I cannot wait for everyone to hear what your gifting is besides all the other things you've already shared. So the last question, and then you can share anything you want to share, is in regards to perceptions. We all have gone through a journey of learning how to challenge our perceptions. And I can tell you that you have all different people listening to this, and they're all going to have different perceptions about what they hear. And that is why I really want to come from that place of agape love and honoring that ownership of that. And I'm curious what perception comes up for you that you too would love to share about you've challenged and overcome.
You want me to?
Sure.
Many things. Many, not just one. I'm trying to think of one that would be, universally useful to many people. I think the perception shift that I've had in my life has been that it's really never about them. It's always about you.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to project everything onto other people, and we make up stories about what they're thinking and how they must be perceiving and taking us in, and motives and blah blah blah. There's a lot of things we do, but it's always about us. What you see in the world is what you carry in your heart. So if you're walking around, you know, fearful then of other people, you're probably just fearful for yourself. If you're walking around suspicious, you're probably a suspicious person yourself. So it's just never about the other people. It's about you.
Mm-hmm.
What you're projecting onto other people. And when you shift back to yourself, it takes all the pressure off to try to figure out what what everybody do. You just know that you do your thing, and you show up, and you love people, and you be a good person, and you say the right the things that are in your heart. And I think the rest will all work itself out. You can't ever fully convince anybody of anything. So it's really all about you, and not about them. That was
And the ownership of that. Yeah.
yeah.
That's huge. Shannon, anything else you want to add to that?
Oh boy, mine is probably that I'm not Superwoman.
I so relate with that.
I mean, come on, I can't do it all myself.
She just hired a cleaning person, and this is like a day of celebration for all of us. So,
Understood.
when the doorbell rang, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I mean, I was like, she's really here. She's really doing this. And I was like, I'm so proud of you, honey. I can't
I love that.
I need help once a month. I figure, hey,
It's worth it.
it's worth
Every
it.
penny.
I
Every
took off my
penny.
cape. See, perfect example. That just happened this morning.
Congratulations. I tell you, there's an article that's been brewing in my head about Wonder Woman took the weekend off. Right?
Wonder Woman was my favorite heroine as a child. Really. I had, the underoos and the little, elastic belt with the metal, magnet thing. Yeah.
I totally relate.
The thing is that she really is Wonder Woman, but she just doesn't ever give herself the credit that she is. So I would even challenge you to say, I am a Wonder Woman, but I'm only capable of so much, because
I have a Wonder Woman ring still to this day. Okay.
Love it.
I gave it out at our women's retreat a couple years ago. So, well, I'm totally with you, Bob and Shannon. The gift of giving ourselves grace is a really big gift. And there's a need for that. And I can relate with the awareness of when you, especially coming from a servant heart and wanting to serve so many and wanting to touch so many, and making sure that self-care and that grace is a huge gift. And I'm excited to walk this journey with you. Is there anything else you wanted I made sure to ask you, is there anything else you wanted to share?
No, we're just excited to be part of your Friday shenanigans. And
Love it.
what did you call it again?
Freedom Friday.
Freedom Friday.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Sunday shenanigans, so I think I got that confused. We actually
I love that.
but it was just an honor to be with you. We miss you. It's good to see your face and be in your energy. And
I miss you.
we're just excited to be here. And we just scratched the surface on what we can share, but it's really neat to be able to do this once every couple of months. As you said, we'll stay in touch with you, and keep getting excited as we build up to the event next year.
Absolutely. And they can find you on Facebook for those shenanigans, correct?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where the light gets in us. Is that what it is? Where the light gets in us.
I'm with you.
Well, we have a website, where the light gets in .us. It's not
right.
And then our Facebook page is Where the Light Gets In Us. Just all one word. And then Bob and Shannon, we have our own pages as well, of course. You know how everybody has way too many pages and we don't ever know where to post anything.
This is why I believe in Hootsuite, so I can get a couple at one time. But
Wait, what's
I
it called?
totally get it. It's
Hootsuite?
called Hootsuite,
Okay.
and you can subscribe to it or do a free service. You get 3 places to post. On a paid service, you can choose as many as you want, and you post there, and it goes to all of them. You have to be careful though, because especially my daughter texts me, "You just posted on Facebook. Why are you answering me?" I'm like, "Sweetheart, it was scheduled."
Right.
Because I'm magic.
Right?
Or
It's
Wonder
so
Woman.
adorable. Say again?
I said because you're Wonder Woman. You're Superwoman.
Right? I mean, yes, I'm
You're
hiding my
posting right now.
I'll have to bring my ring out again. I love it.
That's
Right?
my Twitter.
Love it. So tell me, what song is on your heart today? If we can talk into
Oh
it.
my gosh. I feel like we might want to piggyback off of what we just said. Let me grab my guitar, These Mountains.
Okay. Yeah. So these mountains. So we are a nonprofit for our, traveling ministry, as we call it. And we're actually both ordained ministers for an interfaith ministry. And we are in the middle of a fundraiser to bring in some funds to help get this music and get these offerings into places that might not always receive visitors and receive special events and things like that. And this song is on the new album that is part of that.
So when they
That's
do go to
exciting.
where the light gets in.us, the first thing they could do is they could just they'll see a little thing that says take our 5-day journey, which is you just give us your email and then you'll get an email for 5 days with 5 different songs and 5 practices that you can use the song with. So each song has a line or a teaching and there's a practice that goes along. So it's music as a spiritual practice journey. It's all free. And then if they want to check out the new album, there's a link right to the fundraiser page, which shows you the new album. There's a video of us talking about it and how you can get involved in that. But in to honor you for for hiring a cleaning person, a wonderful lady who's going to be coming to our house, and then for all of us who in this moment in time are taking on everything. We're taking on all of the injustices, all of the things with Black Lives Matter. We're taking that whole thing on our back. We're going to protect the whole world from a virus. We're we're trying to work maybe in a brand new job because we don't even have a job anymore that we had before. Things have changed. We're trying to take on everything, and this song is really just a reminder that you just have to do the next thing that's in front of you, the next right thing for you to do. You don't have to change the world, but you can change yourself one step at a time. And so this is called These Mountains.
Excellent.
First your heart goes cold, then your stare goes long. The fire in your eyes, the burning desire left long ago. You've been living your life for everyone else. You've been holding the weight of this whole wide world all by yourself. But these mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb. You were doing your best, but it was never enough. To please the one in your head that scares you half to death. The one that doesn't exist It's only up in your mind, the one that drains your cup and always puts you back at the end of the line. And these mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb. From the day you were born, your path was already known, and it was one hell of a climb. And yours to do was take it one step at a time. And these mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb. And these mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I am one of the biggest fans of that song. The opportunity, I remembered it the minute you started singing it. I was like, yes, it is a gift. And I love the journey that y'all have been on and the lyrics that you share, the gifts you share. We're excited to have you at our new event, our upcoming next year's event. And meanwhile, have you on the Freedom Fridays on the way there to encourage and to let people know about what you're doing between time. And we're going to discover and create this amazing journey together. So
thank you.
We're all gift. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you soon. Have
Okay,
an amazing
April,
weekend.
thank you for having us. It's an honor to be with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have an amazing